Hello and welcome again to another episode of Truly Happy Juan. Ako po ulit si Eric Calugdan. Together with us is Sir Enrico Garcia. I used to be an IT consultant for Unisys and then put up my own business called Infotext. Also, I'm the CIO of Philpax and CTO of Sante. You can call me a serial entrepreneur. No? Sir Enrico, on the other hand, used to be the retail operations manager of Shell and then became the country manager of Herbalife. After Herbalife, he became the director of operations of Avon and one of the board of directors of the Direct Selling Association of the Philippines. Now he is a mindset coach and also the director for international operations of Sante. Now, a few months back during this pandemic, this quarantine, no, kinontak ako ni Sir Enrico and sabi niya, Eric, paano ba natin matutulungan itong ating mga kababayan? And doon lumabas ang Truly Happy One. So, Truly Happy One, we do this every Saturdays at 5 p.m. via Facebook Live or and YouTube Live, no? And every week iba-iba yung topics natin, no? We discuss things about, no, world-class Pinoy excellence. And for this week, ang topic natin is what if, no, it was impossible to fail, no? Yung mga balikan natin, look back sa mga experiences natin, sa mga ginawa natin before, ano yung magbabago, no? Kung alam natin nung time na yon na it's impossible to fail. Now, before we go to that main topic of ours, let us know where you are watching from. If you're watching from Mandaluyong, type niyo dyan sa comment section sa Facebook, watching from Mandaluyong. Or kung if you're in chat in YouTube, merong chat dyan sa side, type niyo na rin watching from Pasig or Manila. No? And also send us your questions or feedback. You can type it in the chat portion or in the comment section. This will be an interactive session. And don't hesitate to like, comment, and tag your friends na sa tingin yung makakatulong itong ating episode for this week. And pwede nyo rin i-share yung ating video and don't forget to subscribe. Libre po mag-subscribe. Click nyo lang yung subscribe button dyan sa baba sa YouTube, color red. And also we have our Facebook group page. Yung link sa Facebook group na yun nasa last link dito sa description nitong video para maka-join kayo at wala kayong ma-miss na episode. And speaking of episodes, we are now at episode number 48. Akalain mo yun, Sir
Wow.
Enrico? Naka
Wow.
48 weeks na tayo, no? Saturdays
Wow.
yan, 5 p.m. Malapit na tayo mag 1 year. So, ang ating topic is, what if, no, it was impossible to fail? Sige, sir, let's start.
Yeah. So thank you, Eric. And yeah, 48. Wow. Consecutive yun, no, Eric? Di ba?
Yes,
Except pag
yes.
nung Holy Week, of course. Pero
And
wow.
Christmas, oo.
And
Pero
Christmas.
tuloy-tuloy
So
yan.
wow.
Correct, correct.
Wow. It's been so fast. So anyway, grateful for that. And thank you. And good afternoon to you. And of course, our viewers. And, of course, especially yung regular viewers natin. Oh, Lai, yeah, I see you on the, one of our viewers. Kasama natin sa VNG2, si Lai
Yes.
Brondial. Yeah. So, okay. Ito yung topic natin ngayon. Itong yung what if it was impossible to fail. And this work actually was, wow, matagal na to, in the early 1930s pa to, by a journalist, no, from Chicago. And she found this, at that time, Eric, I just want to kind of put the background here. When she came out with this, it rivaled the Napoleon Hills, the Carnegie on personal development. At that time, imagine it sold close to 1 million copies.
Wow.
And then, yeah, and then it kind of disappeared for a while, and then resurfaced, during our time already. And it's I'm just setting that there para malaman ng tao na this was done like almost 100 years ago. Yeah, 90
Wow.
years back. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and it is so, if you just listen to it, parang ano yan, parang ano naman yan, di ba? Parang masyadong, wishing lang, di ba? But actually,
Mm.
there is some basis to it, and that's what we'll talk about, di ba? Ano ba yung ibig niyan sabihin? What would you do if you knew it was impossible to fail, right? And
Mm.
just for our audience, actually, this is the book, right?
Yan. Oo nga.
Di ba? What would you
Wake up,
do
Lee.
yeah,
It
and
knew it was impossible to fail.
right. Okay, so let's go through it, Okay, so it's always to give credit to the person that created this, okay? So,
Mhm.
sige, just want to
Yan,
show
ito
that
yung book.
yes, and the author is Dorothea Brand. By the way, we say this because these are ideas are not mine, but what we do here is we use our experience and how we have used this to help us. And that's what
Yung
we're sharing with you. Yung
application.
application and yung
Yes.
learnings, di ba? So,
Mhm.
para we give credit where credit is due, right? So, this is the, if you can pick it up, and of course, may audiobook na ngayon, may ebook, I'm sure. It is wonderful. At first, I kind of said, ano to, parang it sounds a little too up in the sky, di ba? But when you read through it, ang galing. That's why it's true, Eric. Another lesson, really, you can't really judge the book by its
By its
cover.
cover.
Really,
Uh-huh.
you just have to go through it, right? And
Uh-huh.
there's always something to learn. So, sige.
Mhm. Sige.
So, ano yung key learnings dito? I want to go straight to the key insights, no? And one of the things that she talks about very early on is that when she wrote this book, she discovered and observed that most people in general, there's really a will to fail. And the reason may will to fail is merong rewards. Now, okay, hold on. Don't get too excited. Parang how can you say may will to fail? What she means by that is the will to fail is not to be your absolute best, not to try, because you are more fearful of the humiliation when you fail at something. Nakuha mo yun, Eric? Kaya nyo sinasabi, meron inherent will to fail. Kasi rather than fail, most people will not want to try. And anong reward nun? May reward yun. May excuse ka na sabi mo, alam mo kung tinuloy ko lang yun, maybe I would have been a good programmer, businessman, dentist, lawyer. May excuse
Pagsisisi.
ka eh. Hindi, excuse eh.
Excuse
May
yung
excuse ka
nangyayari.
eh na kung ginawa ko siguro yung palagay kong galing ko.
Uh-huh.
So,
Nangyayari din yan, sir, sa mga classes, 'di ba? Sa school, halimbawa, or sa mga seminars, 'di ba? Na nahihiya tayong magtanong, 'di ba? Yung magtaas ng kamay, magtanong. Dahil
absolutely.
nahihiya tayo na baka medyo mali yung tanong mo or hindi related tanong mo, or parang isipin ng mga
Or,
tao na wala kang alam, parang gano'n, no? Yung hiya,
correct.
nauna. Oo.
Correct. You're correct. And that's what I wanted to point out. You will rather not ask the question because it will show one of several things. Number one, that you don't know the
Mhm.
topic. Ironically, that is the reason why you're asking. Kaya ka nga
Correct.
nagtatanong. Kasi,
Kaya
kasi
kaya
nga
ka nga
hindi mo nga
nagtatanong.
alam eh, di ba? But
Tama, tama.
'di ba? But you get so conditioned and programmed, by our parents and our society. Ay nako, kaysa malaman na hindi mo alam 'yan or kulang ka sa kaalaman, huwag kang magtanong. Tama, in our
Mhm.
society,
Correct.
the
Mhm.
premium on nakakahiya,
Yeah,
nakakahiya. Lalo na, but the reason nga you're asking is because you don't know, okay? Now,
correct.
the reward of that is in that situation is you look smart.
Mhm.
'Di ba? Parang wow, nobody wants to ask nga, 'di ba? Kasi you look all smart. Parang, oh, I guess everyone understands it, right?
Yun
So,
ang
the
problema,
fee
di ba? Nagpapa-seminar ka, tapos, do you have any questions? Tapos wala nagtatanong. Tapos ang nangyayari, after ng seminar, doon ka lalapitan na, ito, ganito ba yun, ganyan. So, ang problema, hindi nila alam, no, na yung questions na meron sila could be the same questions na meron yung ibang participants, na mas lalong maintindihan ng ibang participants na hindi alam nung speaker. No, kaya very important po 'yan lalo sa ating audience, no. Wag po kayong mahiyang magtanong. If you have questions, no, it's not against you, it's actually helping other participants, no, to understand kung ano man yung dinidiscuss natin, di ba? Kaya kung may questions kayo, type niyo dyan sa comment section sa Facebook or chat dyan sa YouTube.
right,
Yeah.
right. So thank you, Eric. Exactly. It's the fear of the humiliation. It's greater than our desire for achievement. Tama siya.
Mhm.
Pag nag-collide yung kunyari, nagtapat yung, naku, baka mapahiya ako pag sinabi kong ito yung gagawin ko. Versus, pag nagawa ko yun, I'll be the first unicorn in the Philippines. Mananalo yung humiliation from failure.
Mhm.
That is so strong, you will probably not do it. Yun yung
Mm-hmm.
sinasabi niya na that is so strong to keep inertia. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I see the comments. Correct. Facebook user, success is subjective. That's why there is no general definition for success. Kasi
Mm-hmm.
success is simply you are putting everything that you can in what it is that you do. That could be the simplest task. But if you are, full on and just pouring out everything that you're humanly capable of, that is the success. That you're trying, you're putting in the effort, and from the failures you're learning. That could be your success, diba? And
Mm-hmm.
then yun na nga, the constant improvement of oneself is really the key. Dikit-dikit to, Eric. Kasi yun nga, what stops you from your greatness or your success is yung inertia. Yung, to resist motion, di ba? Alam, in parang physics. Ibang meaning rin yun, di ba?
Mm-hmm. Si
Uh,
Robert Tan pala yun, yung nag-comment. Sabi niya, di nag-register profile ko. Mga idol, it's me, Robert Tan.
okay,
Yeah.
Robert. Oo.
So I
So,
believe, Robert, nanonood ka within the Truly Happy One na group page. Kapag doon kasi, kailangan mo i-allow si StreamYard para ma-access yung profile mo, para lumabas yung name mo. So, yun lang.
oh,
Sige, sir.
right. So, ba't natin pinag-uusapan to? And ano ba tong what if it was impossible to fail? Because her book is, if you knew it were impossible to fail in anything that you would do, why don't you go act and live it?
Mm-hmm.
'Di ba? And the reason nga most don't do that is because of the fear of humiliation from failure. So, yun nga yung sinasabi niya, may will to fail. So,
Mm-hmm.
ang ganda nung isang chapter dun because if you remember, I don't know if you do, Eric, no? But there was a time, yung hypnotism, 'di ba? When you're put
Mm-hmm.
under a hypnotic spell, you're able to do things which you probably never imagined you could, 'di ba? Parang sabi nga na nasapian ka,
Na-hypnotize. Oo,
oo
nasabihan.
na hypnotize ka, they tell you what to do and you carry it out.
Uh-huh.
So she was saying in a certain sense purging the memory or in your terms Eric, parang software ni-reformat mo or yung OS
Mm-hmm.
binura mo
Mm-hmm.
because you wanted to perform differently. Tinanggal mo
Total
lahat ng
revamp.
previous
Oo.
tinanggal mo yung previous all the algorithms and all the
Yeah.
program, the codes,
Mm-hmm.
so that you can make it do something else.
Mm-hmm.
So to a certain extent, that's what we need to do, and that's the only thing that separates us from success. In fact,
Mm-hmm.
if you can show the next slide, this is the summary of that whole book from Dorothea Brand herself. All that is necessary to break the spell of inertia, meaning inertia, not wanting to do anything or move forward, diba? Or
Mm-hmm.
act, and frustration is this: act as if it's impossible to fail. That is the formula, the command of right about face, which turns us from failure toward success. Now, how do we know this? You know, Eric, like you in your business or in sports, if you look back to the time that I'm sure there were moments when you stood on the stage, when you stood in front of your class, in front of your client, you had those moments where you were so sure it was going to be a success. I'll cite my ano. When I won my games in badminton, it's because I stepped into the court already in my mind. Oh, I'm not going to fail here because I'm going to dictate how the game will be played. And it was just magical. There were no doubts. I stepped onto the court. It's impossible that this other will be able to dictate on me. I will dictate
Mm-hmm.
how the game will be played. And when I played at that level of consciousness, it was beautiful. Yet I've also been on the other side where I had doubts, where I was, the mind was so. What I'm trying to say here is that's how you can and should use your mind to be your biggest ally.
Mm-hmm.
Diba? I don't know, Eric, baka masyadong please help me keep it in perspective.
Yes, oo. Actually, maganda yung isang bullet dun sa previous slide natin, no, na people tend to not do anything because of fear of failure or the fear of humiliation nga due to failure, no. Yun yung kailangan nating tanggalin sa mga tao na like for example, no, gusto kong matuto magbike, pero ayokong matumba or ayokong masemplang sa bike, no? Pero given lahat 'yon, no? So sa mga tao, sa mga listeners natin na marunong magbike, ngayon nauuso yung bike, 'di ba? Dahil nga dito sa mga quarantine and mga mga problems sa public transport due to COVID and social distancing. Kung marunong kang magbike ngayon, definitely maaalala mo noon, 'di ba, na nag-fail ka, sumemplang ka talaga, 'di ba? Walang natutong magbike na hindi sumemplang. Yan,
Oh,
may
sugat.
sugat ka sa mga siko, sa
Yeah,
tuhod, 'di ba? May
yeah.
ano yan, battle scars yung tawag ng mga bata ngayon, 'di ba? Mangyayarit mangyayari po 'yan, no? And ganoon din sa ibang aspects ng ating mga buhay, career, business, no? Dadaan at dadaan talaga tayo diyan. So, hindi tayo dapat nagpapapigil sa takot na mag-fail dahil it's part of what we need to do to be successful, no? The road to
Exactly.
success is not, walang shortcut. Yun yan, sabi na, walang shortcut sa road to success. Walang success na hindi dumaan ng failure. Okay? Walang from here to, I don't know, from here to Baguio, walang kalsada na walang lubak. Lahat may madadaan at madadaan na kalubak. 'Di ba? Ganon din sa buhay, 'di ba, sir?
Yes, absolutely. Ang ganda ng sinabi ni Robert, 'di ba? Yeah, what it feels like to succeed. Yeah, and the meaning really comes from the struggle. And if you study so many countless people, yun nga, it's related to yung sinabi natin, 'di ba? Iceberg sa success. Eh nakikita mo kasi yung ngayon yung resulta na.
Mm.
Pero hindi mo nakita kung anong pinagdaanan nun,
Correct.
'di
Yes.
ba?
And in
Like,
fact, sa mga ano rin, 'di ba, sa mga palabas ngayon, sa mga actually Disney films, yung mga Avengers, mga Marvel, mga ganon, lahat 'yan may kalaban, 'di ba? Lahat
oh,
may away, lahat 'yan may ano to, may problems, 'di ba? Na tinatry nilang i-solve. Kasi boring kapag yung story is once upon a time and they lived happily ever after, 'di ba? Boring
exactly.
kapag yun lang yung kwento, 'di ba? So there has
Yeah,
to be a struggle. Yun nga, yung story. Yun yung interesting. Doon tayo natututo, no? Yun yung importante. And if we don't try, if we don't act, then we don't learn, 'di ba? In fact, sa
yeah,
technology din, Sir Enrico, no? Kasi nung college, may kinuha akong elective na AI algorithm formulation. Yung uso
right.
ngayon, no, nung time na yun, year 90s pa yun, nung college ako. Pero ngayon lang nauuso yung word na AI, machine learning, yung mga ganyan, no. Pero pag pinag-aralan nyo actually yung machine learning, it's all about failures, no. So bibigyan mo yung computer, bibigyan mo yung program ng mga parang question sheet, tapos ibibigay mo yung answer sheet. Tapos ira-run ng machine yan. Yun yung machine learning eh. Ira-run niya yan multiple times. And sa umpisa, definitely bagsak siya. So, questionnaire, answer sheet, bagsak. Questionnaire, answer sheet, bagsak. Laging bagsak yung computer. Hanggang over time, no, nag-a-adjust yung kanyang mga tinatawag na neural networks, no, or parang neurons na equivalent sa brains
Yeah.
natin. Meron ding software equivalent ng neurons. Nag-a-adjust siya from the mga quizzes na binibigay mo, yung input questionnaire, tapos yung answer key, yung mga ganyan, yun ang machine learning. And hindi magkakaroon ng AI. So after ma-learn ng machine yon, then you have AI, di ba? So hindi ka magkakaroon ng AI kung hindi siya dumaan ng machine learning. And the process of machine learning is actually failure after failure after failure and learning from those failures. Nag-a-adjust yung variables ng machine every time na nagfe-fail sila.
Beautifully said, Eric, and I like the analogy because yung nakikita mo is ang galing ng computer, uy, ang galing ni Siri, uy, ang galing ni Alexa,
Oo.
kung anong iutos mo, kaya niya. Hindi mo
Yes.
kasi nakita kung ano yung kailangan mong i-feed kay Siri o kay
Correct.
Alexa para niya magawa yun. Di ba?
Nag-fail yan more than 1,000 times si Siri, si
Tama ba,
Alexa.
Eric?
Nag-fail yan more than 1,000 times. Correct. Before ka magkaroon ng end product na ginagamit natin ngayon ng tayong mga consumers na, oo nga, alam niya yung sinasabi ko na nagkakaintindihan kami, di ba? Ay, sabi ni Tina
Right.
Fe, hello po, watching from
Oh,
Mandaluyong. Ayan.
hello, yeah,
At
hello.
sabi niya,
Ito
feeling
si Ben.
fear and doubt cannot be avoided, but you can stop it from controlling you from pursuing success. Correct.
Of course, it's
Yes.
normal, and all of us still, we have our fears. Even in what we do very well, meron pa rin kaba yun, di ba? And you
Mhm.
will have those moments ka na parang, am I really good enough? Yeah, you will have those moments, di ba?
Correct.
And ayoko lang ma-preempt, but di ba, last week we spoke, and kasi next week we'll talk about it, like si Yuka Saso, the teenager, the
Mhm.
first Filipino to win a US major golf championship, di ba?
Galing.
Wow. In her final round, within the first three holes, she fumbled.
Mhm.
Eric, I played this game, and that kind of fumble in that kind of stage, that kind of
Mhm.
pressure, that kind of talent that you're surrounded with, most people don't ever recover from that.
Mhm.
Wala na yun. Mentally, they're just finished. But
Pero siya
yet,
nanalo pa.
wow. Kaya talagang that story has to be told. Especially if you play the game of golf. Something like that, tapos na yun. As in,
Mm.
short circuit na, when the mind is gone, wala na.
Mhm.
And the way she recovered. So people need to understand and appreciate how difficult mentally that
Correct.
was for a teenager, ha? Teenager siya. Eric,
Mhm.
tay sila. Can you imagine this? 19 years, 11 months, and 17 days at the time of
Mhm.
winning the championship. Nagtay. So, ibig sabihin, Eric, somebody who won that a couple of years ago, a Korean girl, was at the same exact 19 years, 11 months, 17 days. Yeah,
Okay.
yes. So, there are only two teenagers who have won the US Open, and that's the Korean girl and na youngest, and
Aha.
our Filipina, si Yuka Saso.
Nice. Galing. Sabi ni Robert din, I remember Eric when I started promoting Infotex years back. Sobrang daming failure presentations ko. But we also had many milestone successes. Correct, no? Ako,
Absolutely.
actually, pag tinignan nyo ngayon yung profile ng Infotex, we have more than 500 clients, no? Pero hindi nyo lang nakikita ko ilan pa yung clients na minute ko in the span of 2001. So 20 years, in the span of 20 years, every day may tatlo akong presentation, every day yon from Monday to Friday. So that's 15 per week times 20 times 54, as in mahigit 1,000. No, mahigit 2,000 I think yung mga pinagpresentan ko ng Infotext before lumabas yung current na parang clients list, no, or portfolio ng Infotext na more than 500 clients. Hindi siya madaling gawin, pero yun nga, all you have to do is do the daily grind, the daily activity, no, for you to be successful. Tama, Sir Enrico?
Yes. Right. So, okay. Kaya babalik natin doon. So, ang
Mhm.
sinasabi nito, it's very simple. Yung summary nito, all you really need to do is find a way, yun nga, di ba? One of the exercises she does is at one point in your life, whether it was in school, whether it was at work, or in sports, or in your hobby, you had this moment where, mentally, you were just in that state where you knew you were going to succeed, right? You knew from the time you entered that door, you were going to do a fantastic interview, and that would eventually get you either the job, the role, or whatever it was. And
Mhm.
all we need to do is to recreate that moment. Kasi
Mhm.
it's true, if you knew it were impossible to fail, yung kanyang prescription is you'd go out there, act, and live. In other words, pursue what you've always wanted to pursue. Because
Correct.
what stops you is yun nga, yung fear of humiliation from a potential failure. And yet,
Mhm.
as Eric rightfully put out, di ba, AI na sinasamba natin ngayon is
Mhm.
a failure at its beginning or its infancy, and only
Correct.
becomes smart na kinatutuan natin because it has learned so many times to fail, fail, fail. Maganda dun, computer, walang emotion.
Mhm.
So, at walang ego. Ang ginagawa ng computer, sige, turuan mo pa ako, turuan mo pa ako. Tinatawanan mo, okay lang, but the time will come, I'll be
Oo.
better than you. Correct,
Correct.
Eric?
Correct. Tama.
And that's what we need to do. So, ladies and gentlemen, in your life, act as if as if it was impossible to fail. What that means is that doesn't mean don't plan, don't know, but break that fear of failure.
Mm-mm.
Because the truth is, it is from the failure that you learn more. It is from the failure that you become successful. So the
Correct.
fear of the failure is what we must conquer. Ano ba mangyayari?
Mm-mm.
Kasi napakabigat yung ayaw mo mabansagan na failure. See, that's why tama yung sabi niya, may will to fail ang tao because may reward yung failure. Para may excuse ka. Alam mo, hindi ko lang tinuloy yun, Eric, eh. Pero kung tinuloy ko yun, I would have been good. Oo nga, no?
Oo. Correct.
May kaibigan ako ganyan, Eric.
Mhm.
Wow, wala kang masasabi, alam lahat. Pero sa takot niya na hindi siya o marireject siya or magfe-fail siya, he has never really applied that towards
Mm.
anything.
Alam lang, never applied.
Correct, alam
Sayang,
lang.
sayang.
Mas importante sa kanya na hindi masabing nag-fail siya.
Correct. Sabi
O
nga,
di,
ano eh, knowledge, sabi nila before, di ba? Knowledge is power. In fact, hindi. Knowledge is not power. Kasi kung knowledge is power, lahat ng mga librarian ngayon, napaka-powerful. Di ba? Kung
agree.
knowledge lang is power. It's actually applied knowledge, no? Which is wisdom. That is power. Di ba? So,
Yes,
hindi lang alam natin. Kailangan ina-apply din natin yung alam natin para siya maging powerful. Di ba, Sir
correct.
Enrico?
Absolutely.
Oo.
So
Sabi
that's
ni
our,
Buenafe,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, many plans and
What
projects seem theoretically impossible until it is done successfully. Tama.
exactly,
Di ba? Parang
exactly.
katulad, di ba, sir, yung sa, ano ba yung Mount something na inakyat na impossible before?
Everest.
Ano ba yun? Everest ba
Is
yun?
it? Oh, Everest, yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Nang
na
walang
imposible.
oxygen, oh,
Yeah.
it was impossible. I'll give you an example. Roger Bannister, okay, was
Ayun, kay Roger Bannister. Yeah.
oh,
Sige.
in 1954. The doctors even said it is humanly impossible to run the mile, which is
Mm-hmm.
1,600 meters, in under 4 minutes. Physically impossible.
Mm-hmm.
So, tanggap ng tao yun until Roger Bannister in 1954 broke the 4-minute barrier.
Record. Oo.
And from that time, 20,000 people, high school students, have
Wow.
broken the. Yeah. So what changed? What
Mm-hmm.
changed is the belief that you couldn't break the 4-minute barrier.
Correct. Correct.
The same people.
Yes.
But the moment that shifted, that's not impossible. I'll give it a try.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah. That's, and again, you go through history in technology, right, Eric? We've, wow, I've seen so much improvements. If you saw what my generation went through, oh my goodness, you will laugh at it. My daughter laughs at it.
Uh-huh.
What is that? When she saw a cassette, she
Uh-huh.
saw a cassette.
Uh-huh.
She said, "What's that, Papa?" I said, "Oh, but that's how we used to listen to music. What
Yes.
you have in your phone today is this is how we would listen to music."
Oo.
And she thought it was cool.
Mhm.
And she said, "How did you communicate before without a mobile phone?" Oh, here,
Landline.
this landline, yeah,
Oo. Tapos ano pa
exactly.
yun, yung rotary pa,
Rotary,
rotary
yeah,
dial. Oo.
yeah, yeah.
Oo.
So
Correct, correct.
again, tama yung kay Buenafe, di ba? And yeah, sabi ni Robert, the failure of acting, they fall into what if trap. Of course,
Mhm.
hindsight is always 100%. It is only impossible until someone does it, right?
Correct,
Absolutely. Roger
correct.
Bannister, Henry Ford went to his engineers, told them, "Build me a V8, sir. It's impossible to build to do it, to build it." 6 months
Mhm.
after, binalikan niya. "So, do you have the V8? Sir, we still don't have it. It's impossible." "Okay, anyway, just do it." A year after, wala pa rin. "Sir, it's
Mhm.
impossible." 18 months, I believe, yeah. Finally, they got it.
Mhm.
The V8 engine.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly to your point, Robert, di ba? Until somebody does it.
Correct, correct. Ayan, sabi rin
Money,
dito, question ni Buenafe. Some say the word impossible is not in my dictionary. Does this help them to impossibly fail?
well, that's words. What you need to do is accompany that with action. If you truly translate that into action, then yes, you are right. If you keep trying and trying until you get to, it ain't over until I win. Sabi nga ni Les Brown, di ba?
Mhm.
It ain't over until I win. Not wanting to, Just keep trying and keep failing. That's it.
Mhm.
Yan yung application ng pinag-uusapan natin ngayon, di ba? If I knew it was
Mhm.
impossible to fail, I'd keep acting, right?
Mhm.
Because you know one day you're going to succeed. So really, it's mental. What the whole message here is not your skills, not your abilities, or the lack of it, or the lack of education. It's your fear of the humiliation from failure or from failing that stops you.
Correct.
When,
And
like
mhm.
Eric said, the AI only becomes of value when it fails numerous times so that it can
Correct.
get smarter.
Correct. Correct. Yeah, sabi ni Buenafy, what we consider impossible or possible is a reflection of our level of capability.
Hmm. Yeah. If you're capable of knowing yourself na, yeah, what have I got to lose? Eric, reminds me of this wonderful lady, si Elena Lim, the mother
Mhm.
of David Lim,
Mhm.
yung ano, my phone, yung may-ari ng
Yeah,
my
okay.
phone.
Okay.
I got invited to her 80th birthday celebration a couple of
Mhm.
years ago. Okay?
Mhm.
And it was a party dito sa BGC, yung tent. Yung may tent
Mhm.
dati dito eh, di ba?
Okay. Yeah.
Yung iba, they were partying. Ako lang and a few people yung nandun when she was talking because I
Mhm.
wanted to hear her story.
Mhm.
And what an amazing lady, such a small lady. But I went to her after that. I said, so, Tita, what is your secret? How you built? Nagta-translate lang siya ng comics, ah. She came from mainland China, eh. And then Tacloban
Ah,
siya. Oh, yeah.
okay.
When they came here. To earn
Uh-huh.
money, she was doing that. I said, what is your one, if you could put it into one, the most important for success? She looked at me. Ang liit-liit niya, Eric, ang sabi niya, you
Uh-huh.
have got to be fearless. I said, Tita, what do you mean by that? You just keep trying. You just keep going out there. Fearless. Don't
Mhm.
worry about what people will say. I said,
Mhm.
Tita, is that what has kept you and made you successful? Yeah. We had a business sabi niya, na nagsara and we did not fire all our people. We found a way to employ them through some other. And everyone
Wow.
was telling me, you're crazy to do that. No, these people have, these are very important assets of this company.
Mhm.
It's amazing. I mean, see, to her, her magic was you have to be fearless.
Mhm.
Don't get scared. And her son, kabadminton ko yun, si David, ang
Mhm.
galing mag-badminton nun. Walang fear si David talaga to take the shot. Even if
Oo.
kuminsan sablay, kuminsan hindi. Sabi niya, you
Oo.
have to take the shot.
Correct.
Take it, then learn.
Yep. Fearless talaga dapat. Correct. Hindi
Fearless.
tayo dapat talaga matakot matuto. No, hindi tayo
Correct.
nahihiya ring magtanong or gumawa ng mga first steps, no? Dahil lahat tayo In fact, ngayon nga mas free actually tayo, no, to make mistakes. Kasi if you look at the mga studies, no, ng mga sumisikat na influencers like sa YouTube or sa mga iba pang mga live streaming activities, no, lumalabas na ang gusto ng audience is yung talagang authentic na ikaw, na kung meron kang mga failures, kung meron kang mga shortcomings, nakikita nila. No? So, hindi na issue yung dapat perfect ka lagi, dapat 'di ba na every time straight English lagi. Hindi kailangan ganoon, 'di ba? Na okay lang magkamali. Lahat tayo nagkakamali. Lalo na ngayon nga uso tong mga live eh. Makikita mo na may mali sa live, 'di ba? Minsan mauubo ka, may lumalabas sa likod mo. Yung mga ganun.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's normal, no? And actually mas nakaka-relate yung audience kapag ganun na nakikita nila pati yung mga quirks, no, ng buhay natin, 'di ba? Tayo.
Yeah. So,
Ayan.
yun talaga yung gusto lang natin sabihin, 'di ba? Na ito yung I guess yung translation ngayon is follow your passion. I'm by no means am I saying be reckless. No, that's not what we mean. 'Di ba? But if
Mhm.
there is something that you've had an idea that you've been keeping that you really believe in, but you're worried that it may not work, guess what? How do you all find out if they do work or that
Correct.
it will work,
Yes.
right?
Tama,
And
tama.
so, but the reason most beautiful ideas are found in the graveyard is because the person never had the courage to overcome the fear of failure. And so many splendid ideas didn't even get to live. They're found in the graves, the
Mhm.
graveyard of fear. And that's why it has denied many people the benefits of that beautiful idea. If Steve Jobs didn't, and again, I'm not a big fan of Steve Jobs, but if he didn't do, and pursue, you know, one day he believed that the stylus is the most important stylus is the one that's attached to you, right? And
Mhm.
that was your finger, right? To use it on the screen, which led to,
Mhm.
we all know, right? And again, the many other great people who really dared to, because they really believed and they were acting as if, I'm not going to fail. This is going to happen.
Correct.
And exactly that's what happened. So when you conquer that fear, tama yung Eric, the fear of learning from the failure, yun eh.
Yes. Ayan.
Yun
So,
yun.
sabi ni Bueneferen, an ordinary a business person may go fast, but a success-driven person will go further like a precision-guided missile.
Especially if with action, yes. Yung the one who's
Yes, sabi
constantly applying themselves, yeah.
correct. Sabi rin ni Robert, one of the guys who goes against the norm is fearless is Gary Vaynerchuk, no? Fail,
Yeah,
fail, fail, but fail forward and eventually you will find success.
correct. Di ba?
Correct.
So, ang dami. We can go through all. So many people in history, in the US, even here. It's all the
Mhm.
same, di ba?
Yeah,
Yan.
sabi rin ni
So, it's
Buenefere, a
from,
successful business person aggressively solves problems while an inferior business person avoids confronting problems. No? In fact,
yeah,
sinasabi ko lagi no, sa mga business webinars, entrepreneurship webinars, ang mga entrepreneurs, ang mga negosyante looks for problems. Kasi if they have the solution for that problem, then you have an opportunity. Then you
correct.
have a business. No? People pay you. People transact with you because you can solve their problems. 'Di ba? So kung meron tayong ganong klaseng mindset no na kaya nating isolve itong mga ganitong problema, pag may solusyon tayo, may negosyo tayo. 'Di ba, sir?
Yeah. And that's why balik natin dun sa ano natin, if that's all. If you can put the last slide, Eric, para we can do takeaways na. Put lang the last slide that we have.
Yung
If
next
you can,
episode
no,
or
yung last slide of yung topic natin today.
yung quote niya.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
sige.
nung author,
Ayan.
no?
Yeah.
Yes, this is really it. Diba? To break the inertia is yung resistance, no? The resistance to move, diba? Or to act, diba? Is really that, diba? If you were so sure you weren't going to fail, you would go out and live, right? Act and live.
Mhm.
That's really the formula there, diba? And what holds you back is really that fear of humiliation, diba? From failure.
Mhm.
So it's really that simple. Simple in the sense that you control that. And it's true, I'm a victim of that myself. Ay naku, paano to? Pag ginawa ko to, baka hindi mag-prosper.
Mhm.
Baka hindi mag-succeed.
Or
Just
yung
like,
baka sabihin nila ganito, baka
correct.
sabihin nila ganyan, no? Masyado kang
Oo.
concern sa opinion ng ibang tao.
Yeah, it causes you not to even pursue, 'di ba? To act,
Mhm.
'di ba? Kasi there's so
Mhm.
many things, 'di ba? Yung that totoo talaga 'yun, yung may inherent will to fail.
Mhm.
Para nga masabi mong, oo nga eh, tinignan ko 'yan, pero alam mo siguro kung tinuloy ko 'yun, ang ganda siguro niyan.
Yeah.
Siyempre, kasi
Correct.
ayaw mo nung failure eh, 'di ba? So, 'yun talaga.
Mhm.
That's all it is. And
Yes.
yeah,
Okay, so
fearless.
question natin sa ating mga viewers. What are your takeaways sa ating topic for this week? Ayan. So type nyo po dyan sa comment section sa baba sa Facebook or dyan sa chat sa YouTube, type nyo yung inyong takeaways. No? So ako naman, ang aking takeaway sa topic natin today is don't be afraid to fail. No? In fact, we have to fail fast. Fail many times. No? Move forward and learn. Yun yung importante. Yung mga successful people, ang consideration nila sa failure are actually learning lessons. No? So, you don't fail, you just learned something new. Parang yung kay, sino ba to? Yung sa light bulb, sir? Si
Edison.
Edison, di ba? Nung tinanong siya, na hindi ka ba nahiya
10,000.
na nag-fail ka 10,000 times to before you built that bulb? Ang sinagot niya, I did not fail 10,000 times. I only learned 10,000 ways not to build a light bulb. 'Di ba?
Correct.
So ganun dapat yung mindset natin, no? It's not failure, it's a learning experience, no? And again, yung AI, no, na napakagamit natin ngayon, before yan maging smart AI, dumaan yan sa napakaraming failures, no? Mga mistakes, and ang maganda, every failure na nagagawa niya, nag-a-adjust siya at nagle-learn, no? Sa lahat ng mga success, action is the key, no? Kailangan nating gawin yung first step or yung next step lagi, no? Huwag tayong magpapigil sa fear of failure, sa fear of nakakahiya, baka anong sabihin nila. Gawin natin yung kailangan gawin. You only
Yeah.
fail, no, when you stop and quit. Okay? So, when you experience failure, no, tapos nag-stop ka na, nag-quit ka na, ayoko na, suko na ako, that's the only way you fail. But if you stand up or get up and try again one more time, you will never fail. You will never be a failure as long as you continue learning and continue adjusting your mindset, no, and do the next step forward. Kayo, sir, ano pong ang inyong summary,
Beautiful.
takeaway?
Beautiful. Very beautiful. Definitely one of my takeaways is your example on AI. That is so perfect. It captures it. But here's the thing, as you were talking, Eric, I just realized it. Isipin mo mabuti. Isn't it ironic na yung kinatatakutan mo that you're so scared of is the very reason hindi nagsasucceed yung tao.
Correct.
Yet,
Oo.
how is it that yun yung kailangan mong gawin para nga matuto ka, parang AI, but because of the fear, you end up not learning.
Mm.
And without that, then you don't have the success that's
Wala. You
important to
stop.
you. So parang counterintuitive, no, na yung magpapalapad ng kaalaman mo is the very thing that stops you in the first place from gaining that.
Correct.
Na-realize ko
Correct.
lang as you were talking, sabi ko, oh, how does that happen? Di ba?
'Di ba?
And why does it
Oo.
happen?
Yeah.
So thank you
Talagang
for
siguro
the, no?
subconscious natin na gano'n. And also siguro dahil sa training natin sa academe, 'di ba, for more than 10, 12 years in the academe na if you failed or missed one thing, eh, pagtatawanan ka ng mga kaklase mo, 'di ba? Siguro yung fear na yon, yun yung na-ingrain sa atin hanggang sa gumraduate na tayo. Kaya takot tayong mag-experiment. So yun yung
Exact.
kailangan nating i-reset, i-reformat, no, sa mindset natin. And yun yung ginagawa natin dito sa Truly Happy One. And para wala kayong ma-miss na episode, make sure you click on that subscribe button. Sabi ni Robert Tan, it's okay to be afraid, but not okay to let it stop you from acting on your dreams. Correct.
Of course.
Sabi rin ni Buenafe, Warren Buffett's name is synonymous to success. High-profile businessman, follow his strategies and principles in making good business decisions. Correct.
Yep.
Ayan. So,
Yep.
next week naman, ang ating topic ay share. Ayan. Why and what is full on? Ayan. Sige sir, konting intro. Ano ba itong topic natin next week?
Purposely nilagay ko yan. It's really a British term. And again, I picked this up from one of those fantastic, workshops that I attended. And this concept of full on is if you want to produce, breakthrough performance or whatever you might call it, extraordinary performance is this powerful concept, simple but powerful, full on. You have got to be full on what you want to achieve. And why and what it is what we will talk about. Full on is simply being there in that moment, so consumed by what's in front of you. And that's what it takes for you to create breakthrough performance.
Nice. Exciting, exciting. So, para hindi nyo ma-miss yan, make sure that you become part, no, of our Facebook group then. By the way, if you become part of our Facebook group, we will announce next Saturday, may special session tayo, si Sir Enrico, about, anong topic yun, sir?
Winner's mindset.
Winner's mindset, no? So that's live Zoom webinar with Sir Enrico Garcia, and it will be success mindset, no? And mga more than an hour na workshop, tama ba,
Yes.
sir?
Yes. We
Yes,
will
via
be
Zoom yan,
right and activity based 'yun.
activity
Application
based.
talagang activity 'yun. Paano mo makuha yung winner's mindset?
Yan. So, i-announce natin yan sa Facebook group page. So, make sure that you're part of our Facebook group. Makikita nyo yung link sa bottom nitong video na to. Yun yung last link papunta sa Facebook group natin para alam nyo kung paano mag-register sa webinar na yun. That's next Saturday at 2 p.m. Right before ng next episode natin na Truly Happy One. Okay, so let's end our webinar with our usual panatang makabayan. So itaas po natin ang ating kanang kamay at bigkasin ang panatang makabayan. Iniibig ko ang Pilipinas, aking lupang sinilangan, tahanan ng aking lahi. Kinukupkup ako at tinutulungan upang maging malakas, masipag at marangal. Dahil mahal ko ang Pilipinas, diringgin ko ang payo ng aking mga magulang. Susundin ko ang tuntunin ng lipunan. Tutuparin ko ang tungkulin ng mamayang makabayan. Naglilingkod, nag-aaral at nagdarasal ng buong katapatan. Ialay ko ang aking buhay, pangarap at pagsisikap sa bansang Pilipinas. Maraming salamat po and hope to see you on Facebook, no, para sa ating Facebook group and sa ating workshop sa Saturday 2 p.m. via Zoom naman 'yon. And also next week, next episode natin Saturday 5 p.m. dito